Hey family, how are you this afternoon? I wanted to, it's been a heavy week, and I just wanted to share some things that are on my heart. And I've had at least 3 conversations over the last 7 days that really just confirmed that this is an issue. And so, for different reasons and in different seasons in our lives, we choose to create boundaries for ourselves and how we are treated, how we're spoken to. Maybe it's the length of time that we're around people, whether or not we're around people. You might even be switching out relationships. And a lot of those decisions are made via boundaries, right? And what I'm hearing, what I've experienced, what I've noticed is that there are some people that feel super entitled to whatever place, space, whatever they have experienced you to date as, and they really push back on those boundaries that you might be creating in that moment. And instead of saying, hey, I don't want to respect that boundary, or I don't like that boundary, or even that it crosses a boundary for them, they may resolve to use, I think the word I'm looking for is resort, but they may resort to using guilt, shame, even harassment, right? To make you back off of those boundaries. And so I want to talk about this because a part of your inner healing and emotional healing journey is going to absolutely call for you to create boundaries in your life. And more often than not, you're going to lose some relationships. Some people may be upset about the new boundaries that are in place. Some people may be super happy and excited and joyful about the new boundaries that you have in place, and maybe even rooting you on for the growth that you are experiencing. But then there are others, and there's a couple of categories here that I've noticed, because there's the passive person that typically tries to use like guilt or shame to get you to stay in the loop that they want you to be in. So, oh my God, are you angry? You must be angry at me, which puts you in a position to have to respond or feel the urge to respond. No, I'm not angry. I'm just, and you're going into explaining mode. They continue to center it on them and make your boundary that you're creating for your health and your growth about being angry or displeased with them, when most of the time that's not the case. Either there's someone who has consistently crossed a boundary where you're saying, okay, I have enough proof, or I have enough evidence and enough experience in this relationship to know that that's just not for me. On the other side of it, you have the aggressive folks that are like, I'm going to punish you for creating this boundary by being aggressive verbally, by doing things that I think or know will hurt you, and I'm going to do them intentionally to punish you for creating this boundary. And I've seen this a lot even in families. When you are creating new dynamics that are healthy, it's not even necessarily that you are it's not even like about cutting people off. It's just not being accessible or kind of saying no and guarding your time differently, that people can become very spiteful and entitled to whatever it is that they've experienced from you before. And I am seeing this take place in parent-child relationships. I'm seeing this take place in extended family relationships. I'm seeing this take place in spousal relationships, and I've seen this and heard about this taking place in employment relationships. And this is something that we need to address. And so first and foremost, I want to affirm you in the fact that people responding to you in passive aggressive or straight up aggressive ways should only be further confirmation that your boundary is needed, right? Secondly, be mindful of the passive folks, because I guess it's called covert is another word. What happens there is what they're doing is really tapping into your people-pleasing tendencies to elicit a response in that guilt and shame feeling. And I found that those tactics and that approach actually is more effective in getting you to bend on your boundary than the more direct and aggressive approach. Direct and aggressive, you're kind of like, yo, like, you're wildin', this is why I have the boundary. Deuces, now we went from this particular boundary to you just might have to leave and not, be in my life at all. But just to be mindful and to be discerning and watchful. If when you are becoming the more healthy, disciplined, better version of yourself and making decisions to maintain that health, and people are not cheering you on, and these are people that have been around you for the majority of your life or a significant time of your life, that's something to look at. Because what it shows you is they actually prefer the unhealed, broken, toxic version of you. And as you get better, it's actually irritating and obnoxious to them. Or there are people that are very used to, and I see this a lot in family dynamics, and I've seen it in my family dynamics, where folks are used to you being the mediator, people pleaser, and go with the flow person, which allows for whatever their desires are to just be executed or done without any challenge. Those are typically the folks that are burning on the inside about your boundaries, but too weak to directly say, I don't like it, this and that. They're too weak to just come out and be aggressive. So they use passive tactics to make you feel guilt and shame. That way, maybe somehow they're avoiding their own internal accountability for what it is they're doing. And so I'm seeing it a lot, like the amount of passive aggressive behavior, words and situations that people are being put into and even punished for creating healthy boundaries is very alarming. And so I want to share with you some things that can help you know, like, is this a valid response from this person, or are they being maybe passive aggressive or even just straight up aggressive in disrespecting my boundaries? The first thing is you want to check in with yourself and know, are you harming someone with the boundary that you've created? Are you disrespecting someone with the boundary that you've created? And I mean like real objective disrespect, objective dishonor. Not how they may feel about it, but like, are you actually dishonoring this person? Number 2 is, if doing what other people want you to do or maintaining the status quo perpetuates unhealthiness in your life, then you know that what they're asking you to do is actually harmful to you. So that's the second thing you need to go, okay, am I tripping? Is what they're asking me to do okay? Am I being unreasonable? Or is that thing and that boundary actually unhealthy? The third thing is looking at the investment in the relationship. As parents, depending on how involved you are, there's a certain level of investment in your children that you have made over time. There is certain investment in developing them, pouring into them, encouraging them, that gives you the leverage to speak to certain things that you know about your child, maybe their behavior, their character, whatever the case may be. If you have people in your life that have not invested in you at all, they may be riding the wave of a current circumstance to make you feel that sharing blood alone gives them a right to speak to you in certain ways or address you in certain ways. That's a red flag. If you have done nothing to invest in someone's life, and the times that you've interacted with them have been possibly unhealthy, you actually have zero ground to come to that person and demand that they adjust their boundaries one way or another. You just don't have a say. And so that's the third thing. What is the investment of the person that person has made in my life? And go through that checklist before allowing those heavy feelings of guilt and shame to creep up. There have been, and I'm in full transparency, I'm in a season of my life right now where that number 3 has actually saved me a lot of aggravation and even emotional response. If something comes across my phone or my email or my text messages from a person that hasn't done a lick of investment in my life over time, and they're leaning on the auntie, uncle, cousin, family member position, and essentially I don't know you at all outside of maybe seeing you at a couple of family reunions and maybe a couple of toxic interactions, number one, I don't owe you a response, an explanation, or actually much consideration outside of just like a general human consideration that I would consider a stranger. But then when those folks who have invested in you and they have poured into you and they come and they express maybe some discomfort with a boundary you've created, yes, having a conversation, explaining your position, how you feel about it, and why you've made that decision is absolutely appropriate. But it's your personal job to discern who those people are. You don't need to give reasonings, outlines, or even responses to people about the boundaries you're creating in your life that are healthy. And so I just want to encourage you, because mainly the people I'm having these conversations with are actually women. And I don't know if it's our nurturing nature or the way that we are typically conditioned in society to be people pleasers, but it's almost like people are counting on that to push past any kind of boundary that you have, banking on your people-pleasing nature. And it's highly disrespectful. And in some cases, it's egregious. And these people may be other women, they may be men, but in their mind, you must, at any cost, do the thing that they're asking you to do, or else you get labeled with whatever. You're angry, you're upset, when in reality, you could just even be indifferent. Or you could just be doing what's best for you and being grateful for the people in your life that are honoring those boundaries, that are going with the flow of those boundaries. And you'll find quickly that those people are dropping off like flies. They're weeding themselves out. And for some, it might be reasons that you'll never know. But for others, it's simply because they don't want to respect your healthy boundaries. And that's more than enough reason to just keep it moving. So I want to encourage you today, like, there is a difference between being angry with people and creating boundaries. Creating boundaries does not mean that there's anything wrong. Creating boundaries means that you are intentionally creating an environment for something that's right. And the people in your life that actually care about you, that love you, and desire to see you flourish and grow into your best self will honor that position. They will honor those boundaries. They will not see it as anger, and prayerfully they won't take it personally. But even if they do, they'll have enough courage and enough investment in your relationship to actually have a conversation with you about it. And so just be encouraged today. There's a lot of audacity running around, and I'm seeing it a lot in intimate relationships. I'm seeing it a lot in family relationships, and we need to bring it to light. There's no more banking on someone's nurturing disposition, or maybe they struggle with people pleasing and you know that, and so you are intentionally looking to exploit that characteristic of that person. It's like, it's later for that. We're not doing that anymore. So be encouraged and take some time today to go through that checklist and filter your response according to the answers that you come up with. So be encouraged today. If you are someone who is brand new to creating healthy boundaries in your life, keep going. Keep doing it. It's for your betterment and your growth. If you're someone that's kind of been in the game a little bit longer and you see the tactics coming from a mile away, stay strong, laugh, brush it off, do whatever you got to do, but stay focused and stay grounded, because your growth is the most important thing. Because when you are the best you, you can show up in all of your relationships and all of your interactions as your best self. And that's what we need. So you guys have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.